May I put in a little plug for why self-love is super, super important on the spiritual path? I mean, it's important on any path or lack of path in any circumstance. Absolutely. But I want to just mention it relating to the spiritual path because, when you start out on a spiritual path, on a spiritual journey, it's because there is some longing in you for something more that is experienced here. And then you start reading books, or you go to meditation retreats, you go to spiritual teachers or coaches or something like that, because you want to learn. You want to learn more. You want to open up to that. And at that point, most of it is still very much happening in the mind, but there is a longing inside, right? And of course, I can relate it to my own journey when I had my big bang awakening back in Denmark in the late 80s, I think it was. It I got into the worst hell for 5 months. I think I have it on one of my videos. You can go and listen to it if you want. And it was because I had not learned to love myself, to acknowledge myself, to honor myself. I hadn't learned to say yes to me, even though that me is still a separate sense of self and it's not who I really am. There was a very strong split of duality within myself. And the big bang opening that I had did not take care of that. I don't know why. I think it should, to be honest with you. Maybe I'll write a little complaint to the big awakener inside of me. But because I had not learned to honor who I am, even as a separate sense of self, separate from the divine, that division that I had inside of myself, where I was not honoring who I am, how I function in the world, what matters to me, what my values are, learning to trust and honor all that whole movement, then the path is going to be a lot easier. I know a lot of people who have given their power away to an outside teacher or guru. I mean, certainly authorities, we all do it, but I want to really try and keep it to the spiritual seekers, the spiritual path right now. And we give that power as if this person or being or deity, whether they're alive or on the other side of the veil, when we give our power to them and let them guide us on our path. And I think there is, or there has been a valid reason for that when we are very at the beginning stages. We really don't know what to trust yet. So it's tricky, isn't it? If that teacher is not in 1000% integrity, they can hurt these spiritual seekers in a very bad way. So is there a solution to this? Probably not, because everything happens in layers and steps. So even for the spiritual teachers, they probably still have a lot of blind spots that they have not dealt with yet. And they may put themselves up on the chair and doing satsang or giving spiritual discourses in whatever way. And many of them are doing their best, and they are speaking from this place where they are at yet, what they have realized. And then as the student or the seeker, we will take that as the truth, and then we deny our own truth, which might be just as valid as what the outer authority says. So if you learn to say yes to you, all of it, even though it's not who you truly are, at least you are not creating a division within yourself. You will learn to really allow, and say yes to everything as it arises. And as it arises, then it's conscious to you. And now you have the opportunity to choose. Is this really what you want? Is this really your truth? Is what this outer authority is saying, is that really, does it resonate with you? Can you say yes to that? Or are you just saying, oh, well, if he or she says that, then it must be true, and then I must be wrong. And right there, that's where you create a deeper split in the already existing split that you're separate from the divine. But right there, you kind of dig a deeper groove. So in that sense, you actually separate yourself more from the divine or for what you're seeking, because you are not allowing what you are and what you know and what is your value, what you resonate with. It's a lot of it is resonance and frequency. That's why certain spiritual teachers will not resonate with you, others will. So it's a resonance. So if somebody says something to you and it is not where you get like, not sure, that's where you have to say yes to this. Not sure. That is what you need to listen to. And I know it's hard in the beginning because we put a lot of our power and authority outside of ourselves. So I don't necessarily think there is an easy solution to this, but I just feel moved to share it, because when I, hear things from other people, it's usually because they gave their power away, believing this person out there knew better. And they may know more, but nobody knows better than you about who you are. Yeah, you probably may need help with that to find out who you are and what really resonates with you. Because, let's face it, most of us grew up not knowing who we are and trying to figure out how the world works and how we fit in. And, is it okay to say yes here, or is it okay to say no here? That's the part of where we are still living in the dream and have not found the core foundation of who we are. And that is a thing that needs to happen at some point. And I would say not all spiritual teachers know how to do that. Maybe few do, but many talk about the spiritual realm and the spiritual experience and the truth of our being, but they may not all know how to take the steps for each one of us, because they're different for each one of us. How to find that. Where is my truth? Where is my wave? I often talk about this, the flow or the wave. When we catch our own wave, it takes us home. So why am I moved to say this today? I have no idea. It comes to me and then I go, oh yeah, that's a good idea. And then I just jump on the computer and do this little video. So if this resonates, just think about maybe the times that you have been in a spiritual seeker situation, maybe a meditation retreat. Somebody said something, you had to do it a certain way, and inside you got like no, and then you did it anyway. So just noticing that. And if I can give you permission in case you need it, you don't need it, but just to say it, then find out what it's like when you trust this place inside that says, that doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. He may be this, revered outer authority, and everybody is raving about him, and everybody's having all these experiences. So He probably knows better than me. No, if you feel something inside where it says, doesn't feel right, it doesn't resonate with me, that's not how I see things. Trust that. Trust that. Say yes to that. Say yes to what arises in you. Then take time to find out, is it your truth? Is there something in there, and maybe part is your truth and part of it is fear, that you do it anyway, that you ignore what's true for you? But saying yes to ourselves, even the first with the small s, and then eventually it becomes with the capital S, which is our true self. But we cannot ignore the small self. We cannot ignore it. It has to come up and be met so that that energy can be released instead of held down and resisted and rejected and think it's not supposed to be there. It is, because it's going to help you come closer to your true self. When you allow it out, explore it, give it a voice, give it a full experience, so that energy can kind of start releasing. And then you'll see other things that are much deeper and much more true for you. Yeah. Thank you so much for listening. I wish you a beautiful day.